How does All Quiet on the Western Front hold up after 92 years? Find out today on Really Old Movies. Welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today I'll be discussing the film All Quiet on the Western Front from 1930. Some essential movie details. Many of the extras in this film were German veterans from World War I, and they acted as technical advisors as well as actors within the film. And all of it was filmed in Los Angeles. So the basic plot, we follow a group of German students who are inspired to fight for the fatherland during the First World War. We see the human side of them, how they also think that they were the good guys, just as the British and the French did during this war. And the main character, Paul, he's the focus of the movie. We follow him on his pathway through the war. And halfway through it, he's sent back home to be back with his family, but he's put right back on the front lines when more men are needed. And at the end of the film, he's in the trenches. He sees a butterfly just flying around near the trench, and he reaches out to touch it, and then he's shot and he's dead. So now we'll get into my thoughts. The plot, I gave a 5 out of 5. I thought it was a fantastic plot. It was incredible to see a film from the point of view of what many consider to be the villains, which in this case were the Central Powers or the Germans during World War I. I mean, let alone a World War I movie like that. It's very rare to see a World War II movie like that. So the fact we have a World War I movie like that, that's just incredible as well. And it's also one of the first films with sound. You know, this came out 3 years or so after, The Jazz Singer, one of the very first sound films. So it's incredible that we even had a film with this sound and the special effects and all of that. It's incredible to see how sophisticated movies got not long after the silent era. It's interesting seeing how the propaganda used in the movie, like with the students going to school, how that affected these young men and kind of convinced them to go into the war. It showed it as a prideful thing, a happy thing to do. And it was interesting seeing that again from the German point of view. Usually we just see the British or the French or even the American. All right, in regards to acting, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was amazing. We really liked these characters, even though, they're the Germans, right? This is the other side, the Central Powers. I especially liked Paul. He was a great character. Kind of looks like a John Wayne knockoff. But anyways, it was tragic seeing each of these characters get killed off. We're so sad when they all die. And especially when he dies at the very end. So it's a tragic movie. It's as tragic as war is, So I thought that was perfectly done by the actors. In regards to directing, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was great. But some scenes I thought could have been cut. Such as there's a scene where they go to a village, meet some French women. It goes on for too long. I think that could have been cut out, or at least trimmed down. I don't think that was necessary. But other than that, it was greatly directed. I think the director did a great job. And yeah, it was fantastic. In regards to cinematography and special effects, I also gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought it was super realistic. The battles were incredible. Kind of not really bloody because this was before, the ending of the Hays Code. I actually think this was even before the Hays Code, but it wasn't very bloody at all. They didn't show any gore or anything like that. But it was very realistic. The explosions, the deaths, all of that. Very, very realistic. And the camera work was incredible. You see the camera moving and panning to the left or whatever. And then you see the soldiers running from the trenches. It looked really, really good. It was very realistic. And again, considering this came out in 1930, it was even more impressive. All right, in regards to music, I gave it 3 out of 5. The reason why, because if I gave it a lower, it would kind of bring the score down a lot. But this isn't that type of movie that really needed music. There really wasn't any at all. Maybe the intro of the movie and the ending of the movie, that's really it. The rest of the movie, no music at all. Very somber, very realistic, I think. And so, yeah, it hardly had any at all. All right. So that brings my final Letterboxd score to a 4.5 out of 5. And would I recommend checking out this film? Yes, but keep in mind it is a very sad film, like Saving Private Ryan, like any other war film. It's a sad, sad movie. So keep that in mind. All right, well, those are my thoughts and feelings on All Quiet on the Western Front from 1930. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. Make sure to subscribe to our Instagram and Facebook at Really Old Movies, where I discuss details about the week's particular film. New podcast episodes are released Saturdays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music. All right, well, thank you so much. This has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin. Take care.